Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Biafran golden child as she speaks today on the message given by our eternal leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the legal team to those people out there, these so-called Igbo politicians and the rest of them, professing their love for Nnamdi Kanu. He has warned them to be careful. Those who are saying, oh, he has just lost a 50 billion Naira case in that so-called Nigeria. Nothing good can come out of Nigeria. Nigeria is a criminal enterprise. Do not expect any form of justice in Nigeria. Hence, he has come out to warn the politicians, naysayers, who pretend they love him. He's saying, be careful. Don't use the name of the leader we love so much in vain. Hence, without any much further ado, I present to you the Biafran golden child. The real Biafran golden child. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Biafra golden child. And I'm super happy to have the audience today. I'm super happy, to be able to interact with us. I'm super happy once again to talk about issues concerning, our beloved Biafra land. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. I hope things are moving smoothly. I welcome you again to the month of April. Yeah, the first quarter of this year has gone. This is the beginning of another quarter. April marks another quarter, beginning of another quarter. We've seen what happened between January, February, and March. That is called the first quarter of the year. Now we have April, May, and June. And of course, we're looking forward to greater happenings, more blessings, progress, and a lot of achievements, positive achievements for our United States, redeclared United States of Biafra. Ladies and gentlemen, this audio for today is a very strict one. Yes, because it comes strictly from the family and lawyer of our maximum leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, they came up and they have berated, they have openly criticized and warned the leader of the President General of the Igbo Community Association, ICA, in the FCT, Engineer Iken Ellis Ezenekwe. Yes, the family and lawyer of our maximum leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has vigorously protested and cautioned and forbidden the President General of the Igbo Community Association, ICA, in the FCT, Engineer Ikenna Ellis Ezenekwe, to be very careful with reckless statements he's making, reckless observations he's making, and unfounded allegations he's making following his last visit, to our maximum leader in the DSS dungeon at Abuja. Yes, I know most of you might not have heard this, but it was quoted throughout the wide media that, according to the statement trading on so many media platforms, yes, the engineer Kenna Alice Nzenekwe, the President General of the Igbo Community Association in Abuja, came up after his visit to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu early this week and began to say things that the family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his lawyers are vigorously against. Yes, the Mazi Ikenna, Engineer Ikenna at least, Ezenekwe, you know, quoted, you know, quoted our Mazimon leader Kanu telling him that he was very, very confident of his release from the custody of the Department of State Services (DSS) by April 2025. According to the statement trending on so many media platforms, Kanu also reportedly knocked Igbo political leaders for neglecting him. Yeah, the PG of ICA was said to have issued a statement after his visit to Kanu at the DSS headquarters, you know, in Abuja on April 2nd. Ezenekwe in the statement claimed that Kanu, despite being in detention, appeared healthy, had gained weight, and remained in high spirits. The ICA leader further claimed that Kanu expressed hope that the courts will grant him freedom in the coming weeks. But in a swift reaction, yes, Kanu's family, you know, said any statement purported to have emanated from the IPOB leader without passing through his lawyers or the family should be disregarded. The family, in a statement by Prince Emmanuel Kanu, said only Kanu's lawyers or family could release any reliable information about him. The family advised members of the public to refrain from issuing or spreading unauthorized information about him. While we are not against concerned persons, especially Igbo leaders, from visiting our son, it's inappropriate for unauthorized person to be issuing statements that could further complicate issues for him. We therefore advise that his visitor should seek clearance from his lawyers or the family before going public on any interactions with Nnamdi Kanu. Kanu has been in solitary confinement at the Abuja headquarters of DSS since he was extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria in June 2021 from Kenya. Despite initial court judgments ordering his immediate and conditional release, the federal government refused to let him off the hook. You know. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are the lawyer, the legal advisors, you know, the legal representatives of our Mazimon leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has taken it upon themselves, you know, to warn the majority of the public, members of the public, you know, to be very careful what they say and what, you know, they declare about our Muslim leader. Yes, he's a legal counsel, Chief Agabi Kanu, Attorney General, two-time Attorney General, has warned that people should stay clear. Himself is in charge of representing Mazin Kanu during all these trials, the new trial under, you know, the new uh, federal Justice James Omotosho. Yes, he said people should steer clear. All this idea of one leader or the other, one Igbo traditional leader or other, one Igbo group leader or other, saying they visited Kanu and he said this, he said that, would no longer be tolerated. He said they were highly disappointed that somebody like the ICT chairman, you know, engineer, isn't could come up and make blatant statements that were very far from reality. I mean, people's attempt to want to impress, I'll do the order to give the impression that, you know, they had a privileged audience with Mazen Namdekanu. Namdekanu is their personal person. They met him and he revealed certain things to them. Yes, uh, Chief Kanu Agabi said, henceforth, the family and the legal advisors, legal representatives of Mazen Namdekanu will not take it easy. Anybody or group who, you know, orchestrates, you know, an unfathomed statement, an unrealistic statement, and who comes up saying things that are not true by every means will be heavily prosecuted. They said for that ICT chairman to have called President General to come up and say Mazi was hale and hearty. He had even gained weight. He told him, you sure the following week is going to come out. That was completely unnecessary and a fabrication, figments of the so-called ICT's imagination. But no, We will not take this anymore. We don't like this. You are trying to jeopardize the trial of this man. When a case is under trial, when a man is under litigation, you should refrain from making careless, dubious, and inflammatory statements. Chief Gabi Kanu said he will not take it lightly any next time. He will just look the other way for this time. But anybody who jumps the same gun, who does the same thing, will be severely dealt with, without apologies, no matter how highly placed. Yes, he cautioned the ICT chairman, you know, President General, to be wary of what he says, to be to involve, not to be involved in this kind of, charade anymore. Said if you want to say anything about Mazi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, you must either ask the lawyers or you get permission from his family. He said the reckless, bombastic statement of the ICT President General, has exposed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to grievous harm because it's like they're fighting him between him and the government. They're trying to say stampede the government or the judiciary to take actions that it cannot take unless due process is followed. He said the gentleman was overzealous, and making bombastic claims, flagrantly, malicious statements. How can you say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told you he has gained weight, he's looking, fresh, looking younger. He said any moment from now, he'll be out of the DSS dungeon, that the authorities, judicial authorities are fast forwarding the processes. That is arrant nonsense. And a chasing after wind is a mirage. He said his office, his exalted legal office shall not be party to such a charade. No way. They would not take lightly to it again. He said the family of Mazen and the Kanu equally has, opposed such irresponsible, such ungentleman, and such, blatantly, you know, uh, self-serving uh, pronouncements by so-called president generals and leaders of Igbo extraction. He said it would no longer be accepted. Yes, Chief Kanu Agabi came up and said, listed right now, I, Chief Kanu Agabi, son, two-time Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria, I'm in charge of this case. I'm now the one in charge of the trial processes of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu under, the Federal High Court, under the jurisprudence, yes, of Justice James Omotosho. I will not let my office or my job to be compromised. Doing everything possible to make sure Mazi goes into a seamless rule of law uh, indicated and respected trial. I will not be party to somebody out of overzealousness, and out of self-serving uh, uh, desires and ambitions to create untoward happenings that might jeopardize a fair trial for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He said, please, ladies and gentlemen, President General, chiefs, let us do our work. Let the legal representatives of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu do their jobs. Don't try to aid or abet us. We are capable of it. We are seasoned lawyers, seasoned arbitrators. I, for one, have become a two-time Attorney General. I don't need your help. I don't need your promotion. I don't need flatteries from you. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, at this point in his career, at this point of his time, this point of his life, when he's under the dungeon of DSSS, needs prayers, needs encouragement, and not people who will come and blow things out of proportions. People who have self-serving interests. So the President General's statements were very, very utterly irresponsible and totally unexpected. It has created so many bad belly in the judiciary and in the minds of the people who love Mazi Kanu. It could create unexpected returns two ways. It could hamper the trial. It could equally destroy evidences and good relationships with the trial judges and the High Court judges. He said those statements was preempting justice. You don't preempt justice. Don't aid and abet. Don't conclude before the time. Don't try to help the judges take a decision. Don't be malevolent. Don't be make malignant statements. You are only jeopardizing, yes, the opportunities open to the man you think you are protecting or you are eulogizing. So at this point, we don't need any eulogy for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. At this point, we don't need any praises. At this point, we just want things to follow due process. Yes, according to the Constitution. And so he has warned all president generals, all leaders of Igbo groups, all leaders of Igbo extractions to refrain, yes, from making, you know, statements that are in the best, in the fairest analysis, very, very untoward, very, very, undignifying, and totally far from the truth that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been in the DSS dungeon, for 4 Christmases now. And anybody who knows what his experiences are, they are the inhuman conditions. The inhuman conditions that he is surviving on would not come and say he's hale and hearty, would not come and say he's bubbling in joy. No, you don't say things like that. A man who's deprived of his fundamental human rights, a man who's subjected to animalistic environments that are not clement to any sane, decent individual, especially a dual citizenship, a man who is British citizen and a Nigerian citizen, is totally absurd. He said nobody should tinker or manipulate any information concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He said henceforth, seek approval from me, from the legal team, seek approval from the family before you make unwarranted conclusions or before you go and jump to the gallery. He said all these grandiloquent, bombastic statements should cease forthwith. How can you come and say a man who has stayed 4 years, 4 Christmases in the dungeon of DSSS, sometimes not allowed to take his drugs, is adding weight, is living large, and is happy? That is far from the truth. He says such statements are very unfortunate today. That what pained him most is that this has gone run through all the mass media, the social media, the newspapers, and everywhere. And even the judges are very much alarmed at what they consider, you know, uh, poking hands into the judge's eyes. He said the trial is ongoing, has just started. Yes, the main trial has just started. Yes, people like the ICT President General, should learn to, guard their tongues, guard their tongues, you guide their tongues, so that you don't jeopardize, you don't put this man in, a messier situation than it is now. Please, and please. He equally cautioned all those so-called governors, those so-called government functionaries who will come out and say, I have it on good authority. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released now. I have it on good authority. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released soon. I can assure you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is on the verge of gaining his freedom, unconditional freedom. He says such people should refrain from making such disgusting and highly disgusting statements. That it lacks veracity. There's no iota of truth in them, and nobody has told them to say anything. Rather, they are indirectly posing a threat to a peaceful, and vigorous uh, law, human rights, respectable trial process. He said the rule of law must prevail. So the trial process must go through series of processes that must involve, you know, the entrenchment of the rule of law and the respect of woman dignity and life. He said justice must be seen to be given equity with fairness and with the rule of law in mind. He said those Biafrans, those Igbo people who claim to be Igbo generals, the president generals, to be leaders, high-pop, mass-up leaders, who go and make categorical statements, bombastic statements. They are not helping Mazi and Kanu. They should stop it immediately. It is not going to help anybody. Rather, it will destroy things. It will destroy foundations. It will make the trial, prolonged, further prolonged. It will make the trial um, totally, you know, uh, it might abort the trial, might equally create problems where you think you are bringing peace. Once a matter is in the courts, once a matter is under, the court, undergoing litigation, everybody, all parties must maintain status quo. You must wait for the judges to decide. So, ladies and gentlemen, as it is now, this is a clarion call to all. Stop making bombastic statements, especially leaders, president generals. Stop saying what you don't know. Don't try to entice the people. Don't engage in razzmatazz. You want to show people that you just visited the Mazimun leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and you are privileged to have had certain privileged informations. Don't do that. Yes. So when you do this, you are robbing Peter to pay Paul. You might just be putting nail in his coffin for him. Chief uh, Kanu Agabi, son, two-time Attorney General of this federation, the Federation of Nigeria, has warned. Please henceforth desist. Desist. Don't make flagrant statements that have no iota of truth in them. Don't embellish things. Don't make it seem like when it is not. Yes, if you visit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for any reason, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to make a press conference, make sure you consult his lawyers, make sure you consult his families. The next time this happens, they will not take it lightly. Such a character, such a person may face heavy consequences, including sanctions and possible litigations. Yeah, that is it for now. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for now. Let's pray for our Muslim leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's wish him well. Let's pray that he will continue to be in good health until this great legal general, yes, Chief Kanu Agabi, two-time Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria, you know, represents him and make sure he is fully tried under democratically, constitutionally, you know, entrenched, conditions where the rule of law, fairness, and equity will prevail. Let us not help the judges. Let us not help Mazi. Let us not help his lawyers. We may not have the capacity or the capacity to do so. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let us help our Muslim leader by keeping quiet and letting the judges and the lawyers do their work. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be it for now. Let's pray for the United States of Biafra. Let's pray for our Muslim leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's pray for our Prime Minister, who is still undergoing investigations and will soon face trial in Finland. Above all, let's wish our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozara Bueze, all the good things she wishes herself in the enormous adult task of pushing uh, the redeclared sovereign United States of Biafra at the vanguard of Committee of Nations. God bless you all. Thank you and goodbye.